And staying at the White House, where a seismic shift is underway in the American education system, President Donald Trump has now signed an executive order aiming to dismantle the Department of Education, fulfilling a long-standing conservative goal to return school control to the individual states. At a ceremonial signing event, the commander-in-chief, surrounded by school children, proudly held up the order, declaring, quote, "We are going to shut it down," end quote.
After 45 years, the United States spends more money on education by far than any other country, and spends likewise by far more money per pupil than any country, and it's not even close. But we're going to be returning education very simply back to the states where it belongs, and this is a very popular thing to do, but much more importantly, it's a common sense thing to do, and it's going to work. Absolutely, it's going to work.
Now, formally dissolving the department requires congressional approval, and the executive order allows President Trump to gut its funding and significantly reduce its workforce.
We're going to love and cherish our teachers along with our children, and they're going to work with the parents, and they're going to work with everybody else, and it's going to be an amazing thing to watch, and it's really going to be something special.
Now, Education Secretary Linda McMahon, appointed earlier this year, has already had the department staff calling it a momentous final mission. She assured that necessary steps would be taken to transfer authority back to the states while maintaining essential services such as student loans and grants.
We did terminate almost half of the Department of Education. We did it thoughtfully. We looked to see where duplication was in the departments. Right now, for about every dollar of funding that goes into the states, one statistic that's shared with me is that 47 cents is spent in regulatory compliance. The president would clearly like to see that money being used to educate our students, and that's the goal.
Now, the decision has ignited fierce protests. In fact, several teachers from Colorado rallied at the state capitol to protest the executive order. Even faculty members at the University of California, Berkeley demonstrated against the federal funding cuts.
Today, I am welcoming all of you to the fight. It is a fight that can be summed up in 5 words. Academic freedom is under assault. Academic freedom is under assault.
Now, despite the opposition, President Trump remains steadfast in his efforts. His administration has already slashed education-related diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, and he's vowed to continue eliminating federal influence over school policies. The president's ultimate goal is clear, which is the complete elimination of the Department of Education. However, achieving that will require congressional support, which remains uncertain. For now, the department is in survival mode, with thousands of educators, students, and policymakers bracing for what comes next.
Good afternoon, Prime Minister Lakshman.
Good afternoon.
Making headlines in India well before you landed here.
New Delhi has raised concerns in the recent past vis-a-vis the Khalistani separatists that operate in New Zealand. How do you propose to address these concerns?
In our democracy, we believe in the freedom of speech.
Organizations like the Al-Qaeda or ISIS were to hold a referendum in New Zealand, something related to one of your Western partners. Would you say the same?
We have very well-defined laws in our democracy.
No specific conversation on Khalistan on this visit.
It was raised with me. I also raised back our position.
Are you willing to be open to these concerns from New Delhi?
As I keep coming back to you to say, we have strong laws in our system.
Do you think that Ukraine is at its weakest position?
This war is not about Ukraine.
Do you believe that your president was insulted? Yes or no question. Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.
Diplomacy will work?
Yes.
Do you think Russia will give up the territory if there is no ceasefire? Do you propose to keep fighting?
We are ready to resist.
Do you think there will be peace?
Many countries gave us 3 days.
President Trump said you don't have any cards.
We do not have another choice.
How do you keep fighting?
You ask me once again the same question.
Because you've not answered my question.
We have enough capacities to keep fighting.